All right, all right. I think we are live back here in the YouTube world. Let me make sure, honey. Let me make sure and get my crew together. Miss JB, where you at, honey? Y'all know y'all got to make sure that I am on and that I am doing the damn thing. Yeah, we are good. All right, this is perfect. So now we are here with. It's so funny, and we're very transparent here at the Brown Book Series. And she was like, "Do not say award-winning, Shay." I said, "Okay, I won't, but I will say, Coach Extraordinaire, Miss Jean Graybill. Hi, girl. How are you, dog?
I'm doing so good.
I am so. This is fun. I'm so happy that you are here with me. Let me tell you something. When I first met you. It's so crazy though because we were supposed to originally just do the Brown Book Series interview,
yes.
And then I was like, okay, well I'm gonna be in Chicago, and you're gonna be in Chicago, so let's just do it then. And he was like, okay, girl, let's do it, let's go. And
I'm flexible, whatever you need. Yeah,
but I loved it though because it was just so freaking cool. You were just so good. I was like, how ironic was that?
That was awesome.
But I like this better though.
This is nice.
Yes,
yeah.
This is nice.
This is nice.
You still gotta come on the Brown Book Series though.
Absolutely.
So we can do all the shenanigans and talk all the good shit we want to talk. Now,
you got it.
Yeah, they got us on a 30. Look, they got y'all like a puppy meal, in and out today, in and out. It's like a puppy meal. I'm like, okay, in and out.
I love it.
Me too. So let me make sure you got all your titles right. You're a book coach, freelance editor, and my favorite, author cheerleader.
I am.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
That's what I do.
Now, Jean, how did you first get into editing? Well, first of all, you know what? Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we'll start asking the questions.
Okay. So I'm a book coach and freelance editor, and what that means is that I work with romance authors that are looking to self-publish their books. I am the person that they come to when they are not sure kind of what they want to do next. Whether that is their book isn't quite working, they can't quite, figure out the plot, or they're worried that it's not, that the pacing is off, or that it's just not emotionally impactful enough. They can come to me and we can chat about it. The other thing we talk about is business. So if they're not sure where to go next with their business, should I change genres? Should I, should I continue this series? Should I write a new series? Should I, where is my craft not sort of making sense? What are the things that I should be doing in my marketing right now?
Right.
All those kinds of things. We can really talk that out. And I can give them a perspective because I've been doing this for 8 years and be able to say, hey, what do you need and how can I help you? So that's what I do.
I love. Now, how did you get into that?
Well, I started with the editing. I was in corporate communications for 12 years, and I wrote tons of executive communications and strategy communication and HR, and unfortunately in tech, we were laying a whole bunch of people off. It was really depressing.
Right.
And so when I left that and was like, okay, what is my next thing? My family got very involved because I had read, I think I'd read something like 10 books in 2 weeks or something like that. And they're
wow.
My husband goes, sweetheart, is there something way that you could get paid for all this reading that you're doing? And I went, maybe, probably there might be something. And so I started looking into the industry and figuring out what was going on with self-publishing. I spent a whole year just studying the industry and studying what was going on, where romance was, where it was going, how authors were working. And then I kind of put out my sign and went, okay, I'm gonna do some editing, and started off with with the proofreading and copy editing because that was very similar to corporate communications,
right? And
that just sort of was a little easy way for me to kind of get in. But then I took more classes about developmental editing, which is really about the high level story development side of writing a book,
right?
And the more I got into that, the more I was like, this is what I really love. I want to sit and brainstorm with authors. I want to talk with them about their stories. I want to figure out how to take their stories from sort of your basic level story to make it something that's really deep and meaningful to them, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's sad or angsty or something, but it's something that really touches people and something that's going to stay with them. And so that's what my goal for all of my authors is, that they have something that they're so proud of that they can just be, happy. And what I didn't expect when I started this job and started this business is that so many of my clients are women that have put off writing for whatever reason.
Yes.
They were told that writing isn't a real job, or writing is for famous people, or writing is for, you need a backup plan because you are not going to be successful at it, right?
Right.
That's for other people. And so many women have heard that, and they did their backup career. They did, they took care of their families, or they did whatever it was, how they filled their day. And one day they were just like, I have a story inside of me and I want to write it. And I have authors that work from 10 p.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning. I have authors that write on their lunch hour while they are doing their day job. I have authors that take their kids to soccer practice and sit and write chapters on their phones. And it is so inspiring to me that these women are like finding their way to their creative like soul and telling these stories because they want people to be happy.
Yes.
Like that's the thing in the romance industry is that we are about happy endings. And that is what every single person in this whole community wants. We want happy endings for every single person.
Is that why you chose the romance genre? Because you only do it for romance, right?
I only work with romance authors. I do some mystery here and there if a client asks for it, but I work with romance authors. It's the happy ending that gets me every single time. I know that couple is going to end up together. I know that's how the book ends. But watching them go through that process, whether it is something that they didn't think they deserved for whatever reason, or they think this person is above them for whatever reason, and finding their way to believing in themselves, to believing in their and believing in love, and believing in what that process is going to look like, whatever that is for them, and just finding their way to happiness is just huge. So.
I absolutely love it. That I love. Now, was it hard for you to get into the romance genre as being the editor?
Oh, yeah.
It was?
Yeah, because...
Why? So, now how does that work, though? Do you have to get, like, with the authors that you published or indie or whatever, so did you have to go through that whole process of getting with the publishing company, or... Okay. Because I know you're freelance, but I know, did you start freelance? How did you break into it? Who was your first person into the romance world?
Okay. Well, my very first editing client, actually this is kind of funny. So my very first editing client, I decided I was opening this business. I had taken all of these classes and I was like, okay, now I have to put myself out there.
Right.
I have to do something that tells people I do this. And I went to I went to this adorable store in my hometown called Curvy Girl Lingerie.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So I go in there and I'm looking for a gift for my friend, and the proprietor, this wonderful lady Crystal, we are chit-chatting and she's trying to make me feel comfortable or whatever in her store. It was a really awesome store. And so she goes, oh, what do you do and everything? I said, oh, I'm an editor. I work on books. She's like, really? She says, I've been blogging for like 7 years. I think I have a book in me somewhere. And I was like, oh, I'd love to help you with that. So I took her sex advice blog and turned it into a book. I love it. And that's how it started. And I was like, this is so fun.
That is fun.
This is so fun. So then I went and joined my local RWA chapter.
Okay.
And I met a whole bunch of authors, and I would talk to them and find out what they were working on and what they were doing and what they needed.
Right. And
try to, because I knew that as a beginner, it wasn't a lot that I could solve for them in terms of figuring out their stories or helping them out. So I read everything I could get my hands on. I took every class I could find. I read craft books all the time, and I was like, I want to be like a resource for people.
Right.
So if you are struggling with what it is that you're writing, whether it's, a paranormal fantasy book where, with aliens and vampires. I do have a client that writes aliens and vampires. So fun. Great rom-com. Anyway.
I love aliens and vampires.
Can I talk about Michelle Marsh?
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
that's the name of the author is Michelle Marsh. She writes
she
writes aliens and vampires and shifters, and anyway, it's super fun. But I wanted to be able to be that resource.
Steamy sex? They have.
Yeah, that one's a real steamy book. Super steamy book.
I'm gonna have to get that one. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that for you.
Cool.
I'll help you out with that one. But I wanted to be able to be the person who could help my, a contemporary author like Eva Moore, who writes, contemporary romance that was set in our hometown that she had been writing for a long time. I wanted to help her, but I also wanted to help, the paranormal fantasy, and I want to be able to help the historical Regency writer or somebody that's writing time traveling Scottish Highlanders.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's Janae Vale. She has a
Okay.
whole series of people that travel back and forth through time, and we
Let
have
me
somebody from
tell
the
you.
past who connects with somebody from the future.
Quantum
and it's
Leap
like,
was one of my favorite movies.
Right?
Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh.
God. I love
that
Scott.
stuff.
That's the kind of stuff I like. You
Right?
know, I'm telling you. I mean, yeah, that's my kind. Time traveling. My husband used to say, "Oh, you like weird stuff." I do. Give me some time traveling. Give me like the likings with a little bit of Twilight, with a little bit of All My Children.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with a little bit of MJG and A-Ball. You know,
a little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
a little bit of
That's me.
everything.
Yeah, I'll sprinkle a little Black Shelton on there with a little Bobby
Oh,
Boomerang,
yeah.
and I'm good.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
I want to see
good.
all of it. Okay, I will say I don't do violence.
Okay,
For
yeah,
some
no, I
books,
don't-
you know,
I
if there's
don't
like
do
violence on the page or
Well, if it's-
like really scary stuff, that's not me. Because again, I'm here for the happiness and the joy.
Yeah. It was a little balance with, well, that was more
Yeah.
like the mystery. I guess the thriller suspense, I guess, or the mystery that might have,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean, dark and angsty. I can do dark and angsty. That's not a problem.
Okay,
it's just
okay.
like violence on the page. I don't want to read violence.
Okay,
on the
okay, I
page,
got
that's
you,
all.
got you.
Yeah. You know, people have a lot of stuff that happens in their history and a lot of reasons why they make, you know, certain choices. But, and that all goes into like who they are and why they make the decisions that they make.
Right.
And so we take that history with us, and that's, you know, that's part of who we are. It's not like separate from who we are. So we take that into whatever relationships we're building, whether that's friendships or lovers or what have you. So.
I absolutely love it. This is so freaking cool. So, you know, I was eavesdropping on you last night, right? And I was like, yo, I am witnessing a full throttle coaching session. You was like, yeah, that's what I do. You didn't miss a beat. And I was like, okay. I was like, yo, I can't even videotape this, but this is hot. Like, this is, like, it was just so good. It's like, how did you get into this? Like, I know you was doing it in your corporate world, but even then, like, would you just read a book one day and was like, you know what, you know, I'm here and I'm editing, and before your husband told you like you can make some money out of this, because you was actually making money, but it wasn't, like you said, really a passion. You was working for the man and just reading his books and
all men, and it was all men.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, what happened is that I started off, when I started off doing this, I was doing proofreading and copy editing, right?
Right.
Well, what I found is that I really loved talking to the authors. I loved being a resource for them, because even if you have a spouse or a partner or a family around you that is supportive of this, you know, writing project that you have taken on, even if you have that, they don't necessarily have that insider knowledge to be able to help you work out what is going on in your story, or help you figure out where you want to take this business of yours, right? Do I want to be the person who is like making the lists, or do I want to be a person who's you know, connecting with readers in this way? Do I want to write to market? Do I want to write books of my heart, right? All those kinds of choices and decisions that you want to make. You know, sometimes they don't have an author friend or a partner or somebody that can be that that sounding board. And what I found is that is something I really love. When my kids were younger, I did a ton of volunteer work, and one of the things that I absolutely loved was being able to mentor teenagers. And so I worked with the 4-H program locally.
I was in 4-H.
Were you in 4-H?
Girl, I was in 4-H.
So I was the adult. I was one of the adults that ran the. That was the advisor for our county ambassadors. I was the camp director for 3 years. I went to camp many, many times, and I would plan events for volunteers. I ran a couple different events that were for volunteers, where specifically like trying to help them figure out how they can be a better volunteer, how you can be there for kids, how you can, you know, explain big, difficult concepts to kids. And I absolutely loved working with teenagers, which is a very weird thing to say. I know nobody likes teenagers, but I love my teenagers. I love my teenagers. I love being able to work with them, and really just had a great time of just sitting and being able to chat with them. Sometimes, you know, we're at camp and And there's all kinds of, craziness going on, but sometimes you get just a few minutes with someone to sit down and say, how are you?
Yeah.
And, do you have any questions, or do you, what do you want to do next? And even if it's something small, like, well, next year I want to be camp director, or, versus next year I'm going to graduate and I have no clue what I'm doing next year, right? All those kinds of thoughts and fears that might be going through a kid's head, to be able to say, well, let's talk about that and figure out who you are and what you want for you, because college is a really fantastic thing, but it's not the right thing for everyone.
For everyone, you're right.
It's not right.
You're right.
It's there's lots of other options that are out there, and there's a lot of reasons why you want to take advantage of that. And after doing that for so many years, I think that the transition to working with romance authors, again, it's that one-on-one conversation of what is it that you want out of this process, right? Mm-hmm. For some people, you can write, and if you want to write stories and leave them on your computer or print them out and stick them in a drawer, like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, that is your creativity, coming out, and that's great. But if you want to click publish on a book, right, that is a different type of an activity, and that's a different mindset that you want to have in order to put those stories out into the world.
I absolutely love it. Totally different, Monster. So we're going to ask you a couple of questions, Jen.
All right.
Just a few here. So what are you what's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year, both in the literary world, in your coaching world, and in your personal life?
Okay, so we'll do personal first.
Okay,
so in my personal life, I want to take a big trip.
We want to go, girl.
Okay.
We talked about Italy. You already
been there. I know.
You already been there. You can't go back right now.
We're moving to Italy.
Okay, yes.
We're going to be neighbors. Yes. It's going to be great.
Yes, we are.
That's going to be
fantastic. And I'm going to have a summer home in India. Me and Sonali. Yeah.
Perfect. So I would love to go back to Europe and spend some time there. So I would like to do maybe Spain. My husband has been to Spain. My daughter has been to Spain, but I have never been.
Why you didn't go?
My husband did this thing with the kids when they turned 13. He took them to whatever country they wanted to go visit. And it was just a, daddy and me trip. And they would have a really fantastic time. And so...
that's so sweet.
Yeah, it is really sweet. So, but now I want to go to Spain.
You like, it needs to be a daddy and me trip.
Exactly. So I would love to do that. And Greece is also on the agenda.
I want to go. I want to go to Greece too. I want to go to Greece too.
I just want to go and just be in that history and just it's like you can feel it on your skin. Oh, it's a fantastic thing. So
I love it.
Yeah, because we were talking about Rome last night, and just to stand next to the Forum was just anyway. So that's the personal side.
Okay.
Please, world, stay together. So that is something that can
be
plausible. Yeah.
Yes, please stay together. All right.
And then on the professional side, so two things that are priorities for me this year. One is doing a retreat. So I want a bunch of authors to come join me in Los Angeles and hang out. So I'm looking for dates in September, October timeframe.
No, in October you're gonna be with me in Virginia, so you can't do October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be with me. For the Raw Experience, it's October 20th and 29th, so you're gonna be there with us.
Oh, that does sound fun.
Yeah,
that sounds really fun. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't locked in the dates, but my goal is that I want to bring people down to the beach.
That would be awesome, though.
Right? I want to do a beach house and be in a place where you can walk along the water, and it is so restorative to just be down by the water, to hear the waves.
I want to go.
Okay,
I'm not an author though.
I'm not an author either. You can come too. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do this. We can do this. Especially for you, because you live don't you live in somewhere cold?
Yeah, I do.
That's why we didn't get to do our interview, because you had a nor'easter.
Coming
through.
It was amazing. It's a nor'easter. What? Isn't it springtime? Yeah. So nor'easter was coming through.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you that I was sitting in Los Angeles and it was 73 degrees outside when I got that email, and I went, I love living in LA.
Me and her used to be friends. We're not friends anymore. See how she do me?
Oh my God. Visit me.
I'm going to come. I will.
Come hang out in Los Angeles.
I will come and hang out.
We'll go to the beach, and we're going to eat really good tacos. So
I'm going to bring my nephew with me.
Come on.
Nephew can bring.
We're going to need somebody to take our picture.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of... So, okay, where were we? Okay, so the retreat. The retreat is one of the things that I'm doing. The second thing that I'm doing is I'm starting a group coaching program for folks. So one-on-one coaching is a really fantastic thing, but I know that it's expensive for a lot of folks. And so I really wanted some way to not only be able to bring the cost down, but be able to have people in a situation where they feel like they can brainstorm together and learn from each other, right?
That makes sense.
One of the things that I love about like this conference and just the romance writers in general is that the vast majority of them are willing to share every piece of knowledge that they have with every person that asks.
And which is rare, because sometimes, you know, I've heard that some people are just like, it's got a what is called back in the day, a zip lip. I'm like, what that mean? They don't want to say anything. They don't want to share any contacts, no support system. And it's like, if just because we're doing the same thing, it doesn't mean we can support each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is crazy. So you're right. I love this conference because
I love watching people to be able to like share information. And then so one of my clients, Julie Carver, she had her debut novel, came out last year. That's great, Rules of a Rebound. That one takes place in Los Angeles too.
Really?
Yes.
Girl,
I know. We got some.
I love those.
She's got some steam going on in there.
It's like a second chance love kind of, or is
no?
It,
this one is it's her first book. But like the core group are guys that were all in a boy band together when they were kids. Yeah.
We find out she's fucking in sync.
Yes. Okay, so
love it.
Yeah. So that anyway. So, but she and I started a Clubhouse room on the Clubhouse app.
Okay.
Right. So we do sessions twice a week. So on Mondays and Wednesdays we get together, and on Wednesdays that's when we do like topics that are important for romance authors. So we've talked about like cinnamon roll heroes, we've talked about villains, we've talked about heroines, but we also talk about like author guilt, that feeling of I haven't done enough. There's so many things that are on my to-do list that I haven't gotten around to. So we talk about those kinds of things too. So Clubhouse is a free option. Anybody can go in and download it and join us in the romance author community and that kind of stuff. So, and what I've loved about that is that we've really built a community there of people that come in and they're on, they're in with us, on a regular basis. And sometimes there's like, 10 of us, and sometimes we get up to 20 or 30 people. So it really depends on the topic and that type of thing. But I've met so many incredible people there of just getting a chance to chit chat about their books. And sometimes they turn into clients. Like Gabrielle Carr is another fantastic author. Do you like Regency?
I do like Regency.
Okay.
Because let me say, Beverly Jenkins and my three top historical Regencies is Beverly Jenkins, Vanessa Riley, and Sarah McLean.
Oh yeah. Oh, those are fantastic.
I'd be like, what the hell y'all writing over here? I'm just, I'm sure it's a lot, but you just reading. And sometimes I get caught up to where I'm used